Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe at home. So today I'm going to discuss the very last topic of the first chapter of microeconomics, basically for 11th standard students, but it is a journal topic. Everyone can, learn it. So the topic is types of economies. Basically, economic activities which are performed in a country are controlled and regulated by the government of that country, right? But different countries have different control over the economy. Some really have, a high level or very high degree of control. A few countries have low degree of control by the government. The control is in the context of the government itself. So let's consider an example, taking China, or you can take Russia as well. So these kind of countries have very high degree of control of the government, and that is the reason they are known as controlled or centrally planned or command based economies. On the other hand, if you take consider the example of UK, so it has really low degree of control by the government, and that is the reason it is called the free or market economies. Okay, so now let's talk about the third kind of economy, basically, that is mixed economy. Let's take an example and consider India. So, the degree of control in India of the government is moderate because it is neither too high nor too low. Okay, I think we can get more clear if we talk about the differences. So, let's move on to that. So, firstly, talking about the controlled or the centrally planned economy, which is also known as socialist economy, given by Karl Marx, it is something that is controlled by the government or some central authority. On the other hand, if you talk about free or market economy, that is also known as capitalist economy, given by Adam Smith, or you can also call it as laissez-faire. So it is something which is controlled, by the market forces, basically the demand and supply. So consumer and producer both plays, the major role. And next is mixed economy, which prevails in a country like India. It is basically governed by the free play of market forces but are regulated by the government. Market forces do what they feel like, but under the regulation of government. They need to discuss with that as well. So next, if we move on to the next point, it is in controlled or centrally planned economy, the domination of public sector is major. Public sector dominates the economy, as the economy is controlled by the government, and the major role or the purpose of public sector and government is social welfare and not the profit maximization, right? So there is no competition involved in such kind of economy. On the other hand, if you talk about free or market economy, private sector dominates, and that involves the competition in the market, which intends to create low price with high quality products. And next, if you talk about mixed economy, it involves the domination of both the sectors, public and private as well. So there is cooperation stressed over competition. There exist both, right? So let's move on to the next difference, that is, so in the case of centrally planned economy, the decisions are made with a social welfare motive, as government is controlling the economy. So the basic motive of government of or the public sector is to maximize the social welfare, to decrease the gap between the rich and the poor. So they focus on to that. On the other hand, if you look onto the market economy, they focus on the profit maximization because they are dominated by the private sector. There involves a huge competition, and that is the reason they are with the motive of profit maximization. And then if you talk about the mixed economy, this involves basically both, that is social welfare and the profit maximization at as It is controlled by both public and private sector, or the government and the market as well. Okay. Talking about the next difference, in the centrally planned economy, the government basically decides that what is to be produced for the consumer. No one else decides that. And on the other hand, if you look onto the, this market economy, that is, they are basically controlled by the consumer itself. Consumer buys according to his choice. It is not that he is bounded by the choice of government. And because this type of economy is controlled by the market, so the producers will produce such products which will be demanded by the consumer. So obviously there is consumers choice. And next, if you talk about the mixed economy, it involves both, the consumer as well as the government choice, in the way the consumer buys according to his own choice. That is on the one side, but along with that there is something which is controlled by the government. That is in the case of essential goods, and where comes the public distribution system, PDS system, which ensures that there is supply, that is enough supply for essential goods to the consumers. I hope you're getting this point. And the next point of difference is the most resources are controlled by the government in the case of centrally planned economy, because they are controlling the government is controlling the resources, so they will decide at what price the product will be sold in the market. Even they are deciding what product should be produced, right? And they will only decide what should be the price of the product when it is going to be sold in the market. Consumer plays no role. And if you talk about free economy, there the resources are controlled by the people. So the determination of price is done by the market, that is the demand and supply, that is through the producer and the consumer. So it all depends upon the market. Then there is no intervention of government, and that is the reason it is known as laissez-faire. And next, if you talk about mixed economy, so that involves the control of the government as well as the people over the resources. Price determination is basically done through the market, that is the demand and supply, but government even controls something, that is the essential goods, the price of essential goods, because as you know, the basic amenities are really important, right? So their prices should not be that high that everyone cannot afford it. So it should be affordable to everyone, right? Because that is the basic amenity. So government plays a role by controlling the prices of essential goods, which cannot be increased through the market, because market focus on profit maximization. They don't focus on social welfare, but government really needs everyone to get food, the basic amenities for their livelihood. So this is it. I hope you get the differences between them. So actually this is not the end of the video. I need to tell you something else. I'm not going to explain anything new, but there are two kind of economies you should know, I think, which are not usually discussed, but these are discussed nowadays. So that is gig economy and green economy. So to know that what it is, watch my next video. Till then, stay safe, stay happy. Thank you for watching.